Today we are going to do a review of the Kindle Scribe 2024. Is it better than the 2022 version? Is it useful? Is it wonderful? Is it all those things? There are many different answers to those questions. I have mine, and we're going to talk about it here as we get started. To get started, let's go ahead and just take a walk around the device, talk about what it is, and move on from there. So you see here we've got a 10.2 inch. There's the power button. I just hit it. I do like that you can have these pretty little designs. You can also put your book cover of the book that you're reading on this as well. When you open it, you're presented here with what you would normally see on just about any Kindle, which is like your recent items up here, then recommended books, stuff from Kindle Unlimited, if you just subscribe to that, and then a lot of other things. You can access the Kindle store through this. Right now, my internet. Okay. You can access the Kindle store. You can leave the Kindle store. The device itself is made of a nice aluminum. I have this sort of emerald green color here, which I like a lot. One of the big differences about the Kindle this year is that the Scribe has this white border around it, whereas in the previous model, it was like black over here and then black over here and then screen. So a lot of people in my unboxing and first impressions video, a lot of people did not like the white here. I like it okay, although there is a problem with it that I'll get to later on in the video that maybe is related to the white border, maybe is related to a problem with the Scribe itself. We'll just have to go through that and wait and see. Charges by USB-C right here, and then you have your power button here. No fingerprint reader. A lot of these devices these days have fingerprint readers. So you can either set up a password PIN or something like that, or I've chosen not to just because I like to be able to open it up. And my Kindle is not something that I usually have with me, and that's probably one of the problems that I have with the Kindle Scribe fundamentally. It might be a me problem. It might be a problem for you as well. However, as I was going through and starting to do the review of the Kindle, I actually went back and it had all of my notes from when I reviewed it the first time. Here's where it keeps your notebooks. And so video bullets is what I used to take notes for my previous review. And I had all of this stuff in here. So my working title was World's Dumbest Tablet. That is sort of true. Size 10.2. The pen is nicer this time around. It has a nicer eraser on it. It has a multifunction button here that you can use to, I think it's for highlighting out of the box, but you can change it to different things, I believe. The good stuff for the Kindle 2022 that remained true for the 2024, the screen is amazing at 300 pixels per inch. Until I got this, I've been using a Kindle Oasis, which I got several years ago. I got it because I liked the buttons. There are no buttons on any Kindle anymore. However, the Kindle Oasis is slow as molasses, and I just really wanted to be able to. It just really started to frustrate me. My Kindle Oasis, the battery stopped taking a full charge, all kinds of different things, but it was very slow. So this is faster. The pen is very nice. There's a nice weight to this pen. And as I said, you can use this multifunction to do any number of things. If you want to go backwards, you can go backwards. You just have to access the little drop down there. The bad notes, not exportable, which is not 100% true. The notes are exportable. However, you have to email them to yourself, which is very like 2009 feeling. I can't believe that Amazon couldn't find a more elegant way to help us export our notes. and have them available elsewhere. But maybe that's not the point that they're trying to make with this. I'm not sure. So in the previous one, you could not write in the margins, and you can now sort of write in the margins of Amazon Kindle books. And I said that the software needs to mature, and it has. So let's go to my 2024 notes. And I'm going to answer these questions. Who is it for? What is it for? Does it do anything well? Does it compete with other e-ink tablets, which is something that has happened more recently? There have been many more e-ink tablets that have come out that do all kinds of different things in all kinds of different ways. You've got books, you've got Remarkable, you've got the Kindle, you've got Supernote, you've got all kinds of companies that are putting out all kinds of different devices to do this kind of thing. The Kindle Scribe is unique in that it's the only one that is directly connected to Amazon. So if you are a heavy Amazon Kindle book reader, then your whole collection is just automatically connected to this. Now, that could be a good or a bad thing, depending on how you want to use the device. So again, going through this, the good build quality is great. The screen is still great. The writing experience is great. The reading experience is great. It's a larger Kindle, though, and you may or may not like that. It's a lot to hold in your hand while you're lying in bed. I mean, this is a lot. You know, you're sort of like holding it up, or balancing it on your whatever. If you're reading in bed or something like that, it's bigger than most Kindles. That may or may not be something that you're into. I don't know. The battery life is actually pretty incredible. I do have to give it credit for that. It came with like 60% battery, and right now it has 29% battery. And I've been using this pretty much every day, at least to read. And so that's very good battery life. It's only gone down 30% in the 2 weeks that I've had it. The writing options with the Kindle Scribe are not as deep as some of the other writing options. For comparison, I have here the Books Note Air 4C. And nice thing is, like, these are all the same kinds of screens, so you can use the same pencil. Here's the whole list of things that you can get, and you can even add more by doing this and customizing the toolbar, right? So you can put, these are what's in there now, and these are what you can put in. You can put in, your templates, and you can put in margins and lasso tool, all kinds of different things that you can stick into the toolbar. And then the toolbar can collapse, or it can go all the way down here. You tap this, it goes back to this. You tap this, and it goes back in. Meanwhile, the Kindle only has pens, which maybe this is a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you feel about it. Your different pens, your eraser, your lasso tool, your finger to move things around, copy and paste, back and forward, undo, and then move to the right side. And that's all you've got. That's all you can do with the Kindle Scribe. Compared to the books, that's just really not a lot. And the books can go deeper than that. The books is color. The books is full Android. You can do a lot of different things with the books. The books, I show you this only for an example. The Kindle is not necessarily meant to compete with the books. I don't think. A lot of people don't like the white border. How do you feel about the white border? I think it's fine. It's a nice, different thing. However, there might be something about it that is not as good, and we'll get to that at a different time in the review. Actually, we'll get to that right now with the bad. When you're looking at this in not so bright light, there is a light bleed from the front light that goes around the edge of the screen. So maybe it's because there's the white border. Maybe it's because there's something up with the way the screen is in here. But you can sort of see the lights. The front light sort of shines in this way and illuminates. So it's not necessarily underneath shining forward, it's on the sides. And you can see it as you look at the screen. Now, you don't see it and say like, oh my goodness, that looks terrible. I don't like that. It is imperfect. And one thing that I'll say is that it might have to do with the fact that this screen is not fully laminated, and that might be because of the way that they have to have different layers on the e-ink screen to do different things. They have to have the pen layer, they have to have the touch layer, they have to have other things, but there is a gap that you can see. Whereas if you look at an iPad, the iPad is fully laminated, meaning that the screen is right up against the glass, so you don't have the opportunity for light bleed or anything like that. It's a different screen technology, certainly, but for the Kindle Scribe, I'd be interested to know if that was something that was intentional, or something that can be fixed, or something that is a problem with this version of the Kindle Scribe that was only noticed after it was released. I don't know. So the bad stuff that I've listed here, the border around the screen, note-taking is still kind of half-baked. The writing and erasing has improved. See, this erasing stuff is just so good. So you can undo that. And the writing is very, very nice. The feel of this screen as you put the pen to it is very nice. Paper-like, but if you've written on other screens, then you know that each one can be a little bit different. You have a softer sort of graphite-like pen nib here, and you can just go ahead and sort of write away, and you can select pen, fountain pen, marker, pencil. Again, these are fewer options than you get on other tablets that are competitors here, but I tend to like pen here. Fountain pen is nice, but it's a little too angular for my taste, for me. The texture is very good when you're writing. Notes are basically still stuck. We talked about that. Amazon has to have some better way to allow us to get the notes on other devices. That to me is a non-negotiable at this point. It's been over 2 years that this device has existed, and to have the notes sort of stranded here with only the lifeline of emailing them to yourself is just not acceptable to me when there are so many options out there. And this to me seems like Amazon either trying to do one of two things. They're trying to keep you stuck to their device, or they don't want to play nicely with others and allow you to use a third-party service like Google Drive or Dropbox to host your notes. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. I don't know. There are a bunch of different philosophies about how these e-ink devices are supposed to work or what they're good for. And the Kindle Scribe seems to be somewhere in the middle of that definition. The Kindle Scribe is two things. It is an e-reader. You can read books, you can read PDFs, you can mark things up, all that kind of stuff. But it's also a productivity device. As a productivity device, it's more limited than others. That is something that I'm not exactly sure I like. Whereas the book's Note Air Force C is all things, that might be too broad, because I've got my Amazon, I've got my library, I've got my notes, I can get other apps on here, and so it might be too wide open, but the Kindle might be too closed. And the question that I have right here, is it for productivity or consumption? I think Amazon wants it to be for both, but to me, it's not. I mean, there are just ergonomic things about how you work with this that bother me. Like if you pull down from the top of the screen, you get this control panel, right? Which is fine, sort of like Android. And this is based off of an Android version. I don't know exactly how, but instead, using the books, I can swipe like this and go to the home screen. But to get to the home screen here, I have to not swipe down, but tap and then hit this back button and then go to where I want to go. So I can either go to the home page or my library or my notebook. The last thing that I looked at is front and center here, and you got notebooks, and then you get to more, and more is just typical Kindle stuff. You know, it has a web browser. I think they call it still an experimental web browser. This browser has limited memory and is intended for use with simple websites, whatever that means. Okay. I wouldn't browse the web on this if my life depended on it, to tell you the truth. So, see, and this is what I'm talking about. I want to go back to the home screen, but I ended up pulling this up. So, do I tap there? No. I'm stuck. Am I stuck? You can see what I mean. The ergonomics of the user experience is just not great. Let's talk about the book reading aspect of the Kindle Scribe for a second. Amazon has had Kindles forever, and it's no surprise that the reading experience is very, very good on this device. It is first and foremost a Kindle, and so therefore it is what it needs to be. But one problem that people had when the first Kindle Scribe came out was that you could not take notes in a book. You could do something sort of like taking notes in a book. So let's just go ahead. I just finished reading this Michael Connelly, The Waiting. And this is also a user experience thing that is kind of annoying to me. You can have the book in landscape mode, which is a nice way to read a book. And I only gave it 3 stars. Become a channel member, and maybe I'll tell you why. Maybe I'll do book reviews for channel memberships. I'm ramping up channel memberships again, so I'm going to give additional content to people who become channel members. You can do that down right below the video if you're on a browser. You can do it in other ways. If you're watching on TV, I don't know how you do it. Anyway, ramping up channel memberships. Maybe I'll do book reviews, but there will be behind-the-scenes stuff and that kind of thing coming up very soon on the channel membership side. However, like I said, I gave this Michael Connelly book 3 stars. But still, you kind of have to pull this down. But can you? I don't know. I want these settings. Yes, I want to go to layout, and I want to go back to single, and I want to go to... So it should not be this hard to go from landscape to portrait mode. You shouldn't have to go, there shouldn't be 3 or 4 different settings places, right? That to me is a problem that Kindle's always had. Kindles are very annoying for having so many different settings windows and not knowing what to do with them. So anyway, as I was saying, the note-taking stuff is, again, kind of the problem before was you could take notes you could take notes in a note card and tag it to a place, but you couldn't actually take notes in the book itself. So now they say that you can. So let me get to my pen tool. That's good. And here you can insert a card, right? And you can say whatever you want. You can say, this prose sucks. And maybe you feel that way, maybe you don't. So you can put in the cards. You can put in a note card, a sticky note, like this. So down here, you can either do a handwritten note or a text note. But your handwritten note will then be stuck to the book. And then you can close it and see it's right there. But now, supposedly, you can write inside the book. You can write in the margin, like that. And you can say, okay, I wrote in the margin. And then it just sticks it in there. Okay, so what if I want to circle this? right? I want to circle that word so that I can remember it, or I want to underline something, right? What the hell is that? That is that is not being able to write on the book. If I had a PDF, I would be able to write in the margins. I would be able to write on the book, and it wouldn't be a big problem. But here, I can do this, and then if I say okay, it sticks it in there. What is that? That is terrible. That, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the worst things I have ever seen when it comes to notation in a book. It is no different than it was in 2022. It is arguably worse. This brings me to my problem with the Kindle Scribe in general. Amazon wants this to be a notebook. It wants it to be an e-reader. However, you can only get Amazon stuff easily on here. And they don't let you take stuff off of it very easily. Let's go back to my series of questions. Who is it for? It's for somebody who maybe is in the Amazon ecosystem for reading books and wants to have some notebooks as well, but not anything like too exciting, because you can't do much. It's not a dynamic. You can't go back and forth into other things. What is it for? If you just want to have notebooks, and you just want to have books, and you only want that, that's good. Does it do anything well? No. It doesn't do notebooks as well as other devices. It doesn't allow you to write in books as it promised the way that you would want to, I assume. Like, who wants a big block inside of their book? So it doesn't really do anything well. If you don't want to write in your books and you just want to read them, it does it well. But there are still the problems with Amazon's menu systems and getting around the operating system that are annoying. Does it compete with others? Does it compete with, say, the Books Note Air 4C? It might be a better overall device in terms of build quality and other things like that, although I keep hitting the stupid button. It might be better in those ways, right? However, it doesn't do any of the things that the books does better. Reading Kindle books on the books is probably the thing that it does the worst. But at least if you try to write on this, you can't. But I think so if you try to write on this, you can't. Whereas if you try to write on this, you just get a box. I could live with the reading experience on the books being the way that it is and be fine with that, because it allows me to do more things like take notes or read PDFs. It allows me to sync to Google Drive and get to the Onyx folder that I've made here for the Note Air 4C. I've got files. I've got notebooks. So I can use this device for many more things more easily. Like right here, I have some of the information that I need to do a couple of different sponsorship things that I'm doing, and then over here in notebooks, I have the few notebooks that I've started, and that's all in Google Drive, right? So then I can go home and I can access all of my notes in a different section. I can turn these into folders. I can do a lot of different stuff. If I'm doing something with this, I have to remember to tap there, and then go to notebooks and get into notebook 1. You have all kinds of different templates that you can use, and that's great. And I can also create folders and that kind of thing, create a new notebook. But at the end of the day, what Amazon has made here is kind of like the Kindle Fire of e-ink tablets, in that it's not nearly as good as, say, an iPad or an Android tablet, if we're going with the Kindle Fire metaphor here. It's not nearly as good as those. However, it's good within the context of Amazon. And that to me is not good enough. There's too much that's frustrating about this device, and it's frustrating in such a way that it is unnecessary for it to be that frustrating. Should you buy the Kindle Scribe? If you want to have a very limited experience that gives you first-party access to your Kindle books, then the Kindle Scribe might be for you. If you want to have something that plays well with other devices and has a more easily navigable user interface or something that works outside of the device itself, then you need to go for something different. If you want to have Kindle books on your device, go for something like the Note Air 4C, which you can get the Kindle app straight off the Google Play Store, and you can read or you can write or you could do all your different things. You lose the ability to write inside of the Kindle books, but as we've shown, that's really not that great a thing. So as much as the Kindle Scribe is a really nice device that has great features, like separate from themselves, it is not a good productivity device. It is kind of almost not a good reading device because it doesn't add the features that it says it should add. And I just don't think it's the kind of device that that we should be concerned with when there are so many other choices out there. If you want to know what some of those other choices out there are, I have some other videos about the Remarkable Paper Pro. My book's Air 4C video review is coming soon, so you can check that out. Otherwise, that's my take on the Kindle Scribe 2024. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. We can have a boisterous discussion. Other than that, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this video with your friends. If you want to become a channel member and see Jason book reviews or whatever it is that I'm going to do there, then hit the membership button down there. If you want to follow me on other social medias, at the Jason T. Lewis. Link to my link tree down in the description below. So anyway, once again, my name is Jason. Thanks for being here. Until the next time, I'm out.